Good day, YouTubers. Good day, YouTubers, wherever you are, or good evening, depending on what part of the globe you're in. Today is actually, I'm going to be speaking about something nothing to do with the Lord. Actually, it's a personal rant. I'm sure most people see me as what would it be, intolerant, unloving, finger-pointing Christian. Well, I'm a follower of the Lord Jesus, or who should be rightfully called Yeshua HaMashiach. And all those that know me know that I'm always gracious, kind, and although I have, like many people do, vent my spleen over the injustice of this world and people's selfishness and greed and that sort of thing. On the whole, I try to live the way Yeshua said we should. But no, the subject today is actually Star Wars. And it's a bit of a rant because I'm a bit of a nerd where Star Wars is concerned. I wouldn't say I'm that much of an obsessive because, I don't make it a be-all and end-all my life. But if I get to meet with a fellow fan, then, I will wax lyrical about the subject. I'm not like many of those fans who are purists and say that, only episodes 4, 5 and 6 are worthy because episodes 1, 2 and 3 are rubbish and so on. I'm more interested in the characters, the universe, the machinations, the plots, and that's the thing that I can't understand with people. In fact, I even embraced the expanded universe because I think it was wonderful that George Lucas allowed authors and so on to write books that would take the characters and storylines beyond the movies. In fact, I even enjoyed the last, not that I've seen the last few seasons, but I enjoyed what I saw of the Clone Wars. I thought that the actual, people said, "Oh, well, it's cartoon," but it's different. It's actually, I see them as like caricatures, and you see that sort of cunning and guile of Yoda, mixed with the wisdom sort of thing. That he's always about 10 steps ahead of everyone else, and I like that fall between Ahsoka Tano and Anakin Skywalker in respect to the fact that they there's like a sort of like it's almost like a sibling rivalry between them. She's quite reckless like he is, but and in many ways he sees a lot of her in him, and he also has this kind of like idea of being a sort of a father figure to her when actually she's way ahead of him, and in many cases sometimes actually overshadows him, and that's what I saw in many of the early episodes. Just great characters in there. The bounty hunter, what was his name now? Is it Carth Bane, or how he's is it Carth? I don't know what's Carth, but it's not Darth Bane because we know that's the Sith Lord from the expanded universe. But the thing is, he's actually I've forgotten the name of the species now, but he's actually I think from the same species as Admiral Thrawn. If you know the expanded universe, he's actually I can't remember now whether he's like the Tordarians, that they're actually force resistant. But anyway, So anyway, I digressed. I could go on about this and just waffle on about Star Wars, but no, the main point of my rant is that I want to talk about this, and I hope that people passing by will actually comment and say whether they're in agreement or whatever. Like, I'm talking about this. Yeah, the Star Wars fact fire. Now, for those of you out there, probably dedicated fans like myself, you may be you may have already collected it the first time around when it was released in 2001, and probably like myself, was very impressed, and found it quite enjoyable. I must admit, such a chunk that I don't believe I really actually read all of it, but it was good to see all the ancient beginnings, something like 300,000 years before the Battle of Yavin, and the whole concept of how the Sith began, and how the early Jedi had gone to the planet Ondron and been corrupted by the dark side, and literally had mutated the original. Not just Ondron, was it? No, it was actually wasn't it Yavin, or I'm trying to remember now, but anyway, I digress. But no, my problem is with this new 2014 thing. Now, don't get me wrong. I mean, I think this is a nice folder compared to the original one. In fact, excuse me a minute while I go and show you the original one. Yeah, so that was the cover of the original one, and fine, shows you all the main characters. You see, it was limited though because this only actually dealt with up to episode 2, so that's one of the reasons why I decided to collect again. But I was surprised when. Of course, I had trepidation about it when I first looked into it, because I thought, well, is this going to be, rehash, just going to be the same old thing? And, but of course, then I was, obviously pleased to find that, it was going to have episode 3 information in there, and also the Clone Wars. And apparently there's going to be a new TV series called Star Wars Rebels that's going to be broadcast. I don't know if it's going to be this year or next year. So anyway, I was thinking, yeah, okay, I'll take a risk on this. So I've got the first 4 issues, and lo and behold, when I pick up the first issue, we have part of the Battle of Yavin in there, so I compared it, and I noticed that well, what can I say? It was a trade-off. It was frustrating to think, do I keep this? Do I replace it? Do I keep this? And I admit, on the whole, I've pretty much kept it. But I thought, why does it have to be a trade-off? Why have they, and why have they done this? Why have they gotten to the point of, it's nice when they've actually improved on things, where they've actually taken some of the photographs and they've enlarged them and so on. But then why have to take other photographs away? Therefore diminishing the content. But I think one of the most glaring things that I'm discovering is they're making a complete mess of the dates. and they're also changing the information. An example, I can't show you, but I will be showing you a visual example in a minute, because to me this is one of the most ridiculous ones. Take Darth Maul, for instance. Now, in the original Star Wars fact file, he is described as a Iridonian Zabrak. Fine, I'll accept that. That's fine. That's the name of the species is Zabrak, and they come from the planet Iridonia. That's fine. Let's keep it like that. Oh no! Now in the new one, he's now just a Zabrak, and we now get this backstory about how he was, born on Dathomir, and he was under the tutelage and control of the Dathomir witches, which is all fine. So why then turn around and say that his homeworld is Dathomir? Because it's not. He just happened to be born on that planet. It's not his homeworld. His homeworld is obviously Iridonia, because he's an Iridonian Zabrak. I imagine, I don't know, because maybe that we will get that planet as an addition in this new series. But I suppose there's actually two species that that live on Iridonia, because if you remember, like, we had two species, didn't we, on the planet Naboo? We had the Gungans that lived underwater, and the Naboo living on the surface. And there was this idea of kind of like a racist thing, and never the twain shall meet. And I think the Naboo saw the Gungans as idiots and stupid, and the Gungans saw the Naboos as arrogant and haughty and proud. And well, you saw hints of that in the movie, if you probably watched it a number of times. I've watched it. So you think to yourself, fine. So let's get to the latest issue. Now the latest issue is issue 4. I shall now share this with you. So here's issue 4, and who do we have on the cover? Luke Skywalker. Fine, obviously important character, needs to be mentioned. And we have Queen Amidala. And I admit, yes, I picked this one up because actually initially I thought, no, I'm not going to bother this issue, but sadly, see, this is how they're being. Oh, actually, I'm looking at the back cover. It's Cad Bane. So apparently next issue, well, that's out actually today, we'll deal with his equipment. But so I thought, okay, I will get this because it's got the Clone Wars starfighter, the ETA-2 Actis class Jedi Interceptor, as featuring in that's right by my hand there. Look, see this one here, as featuring in the episode 3. So I thought, yeah, I'm going to go. I'll go for it then, But I've come across in the last few issues this discrepancy with dates. For some strange reason now, they're being lazy. In the first series, they would, rightfully set the subject matter within the correct part of the time period. If it was sometime just before the Battle of Yavin, you see, because that's what they did. They did a code, right? You see, there was BBY, which meant before the Battle of Yavin. In other words, what they decided to do was make the Battle of Yavin a key point in the Star Wars timeline, and so that from the Battle of Yavin, events previous to and events after. So if you were dealing, like, say, with the Battle of Yavin, it would say 0 ABY, or at the Battle of Yavin, which is fine, and of course. Then, if there anything after that, so like anything dealing with episode 5, then that would be like 3 to 5 years. So 3 years after the Battle of Yavin, so that'd be 3 ABY. And so obviously I thought, yeah, that makes a lot of sense, and I'm quite pleased with that. And then we suddenly look here with a Luke Skywalker. In fact, I'm going to check to see, but I don't think he's going to be in the volume I've got with me. But yeah, they put down 0 before the Battle of Yavin. Well, see, I don't know. I mean, I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, well, maybe because it's got page Sky 41, there's going to be 40 odd pages beforehand about Luke Skywalker. Be interested to see whether there is. You know, are we going to be seeing some new information about his early childhood on Tatooine? You know, I mean, I have, you know, a bit of an idea before he gets involved in, you know, with Luke, with Ben Kenobi and Princess Leia. And you know, it was actually a radio drama, and they sort of showed how he was, you know, dragged into the events, thanks to him being friends with Biggs Darklighter, who at that time actually was serving the Empire, but decides to jump ship, as he says, and join the rebellion, as he's starting to realise what a tyrannical and cruel and vicious regime it is. So okay, we can accept that. But here is one of the most ridiculous and glaring errors. So we have Padme Amidala. I'm not going to say anything here because, you know, I'm just looking at it again, not just to make sure I'm not saying it wrong, like, yeah. So let's just put that to one side. Let me show you Amidala as she appears in the 2001 issue. Allow me to wait. Hang on while I find the page. These are pretty heavy beasts, these are. Oh, actually, I've just realised I've got the page in here. I want to show the Darth Maul, actually. So I realised I'd kept it to one side because I'm sort of... yeah, right. So there's the Darth Maul. This is the original Darth Maul, okay? Now, I don't know whether you can see the date there, because this isn't... got a problem with light sourcing here, I guess. I would like to think that would focus in on that. I think I'm just starting to, if I hold it steady, just might be. See, it says 32 years before the Battle of Yavin. MAU 1, short for Maul, page 1. That's fine, yeah. Now, so of course, yeah, I thought that makes sense, you know. He appears on the scene, doesn't he? You know, 32 years before the Battle of Yavin, when Darth Sidious trains him as his, you know, secretly as his apprentice, you know, and then sends him out to hunt down Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan, you know, so they don't interfere with his plans. Oh, but no, now in the new version, in the revamped version, and I must admit, I guess I did decide to keep this only because I thought maybe the outlay was better. It was nice, much as this was good to see a close-up of his face like that, and the details. You know, I just felt somehow the outlay of this one was better. You know, I just felt that this was a nicer setup. So we got him there in the bottom corner there. So I'm just not used to showing. Yeah, so there he is. See now that picture there, for instance, yeah, which is, that's it. That he's actually fighting with Qui-Gon there on the desert of Tatooine. You know, when he decides to ambush them when they're about to leave after getting their parts for the ship. Okay, that's nice. That's a nice addition. I thought, yeah, I like that. I'll keep that for a change. So, because I didn't have that in the original one. No, that's fine. So on the other page, on the other side, the other page of that one, you get this. This being the original version, yeah. You know, scenes in the movie, and you know, sending out the. Well, I suppose it's an early version of Probe Droid, isn't it? There, like, you know, and the use of his macro binoculars or electro binoculars. So that's fine, yeah. You know, we'll accept that. So when we look at page 2, and that's why I thought I decided to change it, because it's pretty much the same thing, same images, but you know, just bigger and you know, presented better. Like, you know, I mean, I thought in many ways, you know, it's nice to have the pictures that the you know, text over them or whatever, or you know, as what I was saying, they're not shown, but no, it's just that's the thing. So anyway, so we look at here. So we look at this page on the original version. Let's see if you can see that. Where are we? I'll try and hold it steady. You can read it. So it's just to illustrate my point. Yeah. Hopefully this is going to focus in and you can see it. See? Maybe I need to get it a bit closer. Try to hold it steady. Can you just about? Hopefully you can read that. See, character data, and it says. Let's see if I can try and get it lined up. There you go. Holding it as steady as I can in my old age. See, Iridonian, height 1.75 meters, homeworld Iridonia, affiliation Sith, vehicle Sith infiltrator, and weapons double-bladed lightsaber. Okay. And, you know, as we said, as we established, yeah, 32 years before the Battle of Yavin, right? Okay. Now look at the revamped version. Suddenly now, here's the details, and this is what, you know, this is when the alarm bells rang. Oh look, now they're too darn lazy, so now we're just going to put 0 before Battle of Yavin. You know, to me, you know, you read 0 before Battle of Yavin, you think, well, what's that then? Imminent? Yeah, you know, you just about appeared just before the Battle of Yavin. I mean, the guy's been dead for 20 odd years when the Battle of Yavin starts. So, and then look at the details. So they've changed, you know, the details now, because now it's humans and aliens. So now apparently we're getting the information from a Jedi holocron, which is fine. You know, it's a nice little touch. You know, a bit more, you know, detail. But suddenly now look. He's just a Zabrak, yeah? You know, got the height right, that's fair enough, but now his homeworld is Dathomir. You know, and the rest obviously is the same, you know, he's a Sith and Sith infiltrator. It also mentions Scimitar there, I don't know what that's additional detail like. And of course the double-bladed lightsaber. So, you know, so now I'm at a conflict, I'm thinking, do I keep this? Or do I discard it? You know, well, actually, I'm not discarding it. I'm actually giving these to a friend of mine who's probably not as much a fan as me, but you know, I just thought it'd be nice. I thought I don't need 2 lots of fact file. So, I mean, obviously, I'll keep the you know the latest stuff, the new info. But you know, it'd be nice to give him all the details from the from this original. So, of course, I'm now thinking to myself, is this what it's going to be then? That, you know, they're going to mess about with the dates. They're going to change details as well. I mean, it's fine if you're going to add date details. You know, bring in you know, new information that, you know, that gives it more depth. But to mess about with timelines, to mess about with actual basic established facts. You know, we had a basically established fact that, you know, he's an Iridonian Zabrak. Why change that? By all means, you know, it's nice to have the extra information that, well, he was actually born on the planet Dathomir, and that he was, you know, a slave to the Dathomir witches, but that doesn't change his species, and that doesn't change his homeworld. You know, it's like, you know, well, no, it doesn't really work, you know, saying coming from a country here, but what I'm trying to say is, you know, why change it? You know, it's not an improvement, it's actually messed up. So now let's go to Queen Amidala. This is where it got really ridiculous. I mean, to me that was lazy anyway, and a lot of that actually 0BBY is what they seem to be doing with a lot of stuff. They're even doing it with, you know, the new information. So to me this smacks of pure laziness. You know, why can't these people go back to the original Star Wars fact file, you know, and get all the details, don't mess about with it, keep it as it is. And if you've got new information to add, then add your new information. So let's go to... See, so that's really upset me, that, you know, because now, you know, she could... If it upsets the filing, because, you see, the way you're supposed to file these things is you're supposed to file it in alphabetical and in, you know, year order, in date line order. So of course now, you know, you start seeing things like 0 before Battle and you think, well, so where do I put that bit then? You know. So anyway, let's go to Queen Amidala. So here we go. We've got all the details and Phantom Menace and so right. So there we go. So I've pulled it. I don't even know what to do now. I feel like keeping the original, to be honest, even though, you know, because I think it just messes it up. So let's go to this. Right, part 4. Right, Queen Amidala. Okay. Right. So this is the original page, and with the, you know, was, as far as I'm concerned, the right date and everything on there. There she is. See, there we have Queen Amidala. I hate glossy things; they slide around everywhere. Right, Queen Amidala. See. Let's see, I'm trying to show you where the date is. There you go, there's the date, see? 32 years before the Battle of Yavin, and rightly so. Yeah? Okay, picture of her face there and everything like that, some pictures of her various disguises. And there's the details of who she is. She's classed as a human. She's 1.63 meters in height. So I find it's hard to keep this steady and get it to focus. There you go, Homeworld Naboo, affiliation Old Republic, vehicle Royal Starship, weapon blaster. Fine. Okay. So now let's go to issue 4, and what do we get here? It's, I suppose you could say it's pretty much the same picture, but I suppose in many ways, yes, it's, you know, it's a slightly nicer presentation. See, there it is, you know. No, so we don't get a close up face now. We get to see more of what she's wearing and so on, and you know, and we also get to see a picture of her in royal robes as well. So gone are the nice 4 little pictures of her different. Well, actually, I think, yeah. What is it? What do they say these are? They say these are. Let me see. I'm trying to see in his light. I might have to use my little light thing. That might help. As it's getting a bit darker here now. Getting close to sunset. So, but here I want to show. This is where I want to point out the most glaring and I think the most ridiculous information. So let's see if I can try and pick that up on screen, if I can get the angle right. Right, so this is what the holocron says, yeah? Yeah, human wants it. So change it now, so now she's Galactic Senate. Well, no, she wasn't, was she, if you think about it? She didn't enter the Senate until 22 years before the Battle of Yavin. But, oh no, look what the date they put on there. I thought, this is the most ridiculous. Can you see that date? See what that says? 4 years after the Battle of Yavin. 4 years after the Battle of Yavin. Do you know when that was? That's pretty much the time of Luke Skywalker going to collect Han Solo from from Jabba the Hutt. So how the hell can Queen Amidala be established at 4 years after the Battle of Yavin? She's been dead for almost 20 years. Possibly, well, yeah, just about 20 years, isn't it? You know, I mean, it's ridiculous. What are these people thinking when they make this stuff? You know, because and I urge all of you fans out there. I mean, I don't know whether you're aware of this or you know, or even contemplating buying it. You know, I'm trying to find a way to actually get in touch with them and say, you know, come on, sort this out, guys. You know, you're making a mockery of the whole Star Wars ethos. You're making a mockery of the of timelines and everything else. You know, these people are obviously not fans, because fans would you know, pay attention to detail. Well, that's it. That's all I have to say, really. You know, I guess I will continue, you know, forking out the cash for this, only because of the extra information, but it is so depressing, you know. I mean, yet again, with that one, I'm thinking to myself, you know, it's a trade-off, isn't it? Do I keep it? Do I give it to my friend? I'm seriously thinking of giving it to my friend, actually. I'm going to go through and, you know, I mean, and that's the thing, you know, this shouldn't be this case of having to, do I keep it? Do I not? You know, do I keep it? Do I give it away? You know, when you buy something, you don't buy it with a view to like, well, I bought this, but you know what? On second thoughts, I think I'm going to give it away. You know, you buy it because you want to enjoy it. Well, okay. Like this if you wish. It'd be nice to see if you like it if you are a fellow Star Wars fan, and please, you know, respond. Make a video. I don't think you can do that now or not, you know, with all the new restrictions now with Google. But yeah, if you want to, you know, add to what I've said, or you know, give your take on it. So yeah, I await feedback, positive or negative. I don't mind, you know. But it would just be nice to hear what other Star Wars fans feel about this. You know, have you actually looked into it? Are you even considering purchasing? Are you even considering subscribing? Because personally, at the moment, I'm not considering subscribing this time, because I did last time and it would all come to me through the post every month. But you know, I'm literally gonna, you know, what I've done is I've reserved at the newsagents, and you know, it might well be that sometimes I'll go there and I'll see what the subject matter is in that particular issue, and if there's no episode 3 or Clone Wars or any of that information on it, in other words, if it's all just stuff that's already in the original versions, I'm not going to touch it. I'm going to say, yeah, I'll skip that issue, you know. Or I'll buy it because obviously, you know, it upsets the newsagents because he's been good enough to hold it for me, and I'll give it to my friend, and you know, he can add it to the original bits that I've given him. Okay, well, I hope you've enjoyed this rant. It's certainly something a bit different for you lot. This won't be going in the guidance section, by the way. I don't know where I'm going to put this in. You know, I've already thought of a title for it, so which I might as well say. It's probably going to be called Star Wars Steve, the Star Wars Fact File Rant. So, okay. Anyway, I hope you're all having a blessed day, and I wait the what was it called? The feedback, positive or negative, dark side or light side. Okay, bye for now.